In this position, the energy flow is maximum conducive for a spiritual sadhak. As far as possible, we must keep our spine erect, especially when we are learning, meditating, japa. Let us withdraw our mind from all the external objects, situations, people, that is Jagata, and let us focus the mind on our body. That is one of the easiest way for pratyahar. After yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, there is pratyahar. Pratyahar is a very important aspect for a sadhak to withdraw the mind from jagatyam jagata. Both the worlds, outside and inside world. Let us heal our body and entire focus on our head, face. Let us relax our shoulders, chest, stomach, spine, hands. Upper body is completely relaxed. Let us relax our buttocks, thighs, groin, knees, calf muscles, ankle, feet. Our body is completely relaxed and not demanding any attention. For the next 1 hour, the body will be still, relaxed, and will not call for any attention of movement. Let us withdraw the mind from the body to the breath. Let us just observe the inhalation exhalation process. हमें सिर्फ देखना है, कुछ करना नहीं. जो देखता है वो छूटता है, जो करता है वो भोगता है. Let us just observe the breath, how it is touching the inner nostrils, how it is going out, without changing any frequency, speed, pattern of the breath. Ramana Maharshi mentions about this technique, a very powerful technique to withdraw the mind. Prana Vikshena. Observation of the breath. Let us withdraw the mind from the breath and focus on the emotion itself. What am I feeling this moment? If I am feeling peaceful, that is also observed. If I am feeling restless, that is also observed. If I am feeling little frustrated, that is also observed. This is a very powerful technique not to get entangled into the emotions. We are neither suppressing, neither expressing, but just observing. The power of the emotion suddenly diminishes when we observe the emotions. Let us withdraw our attention from the emotion to the thoughts. What am I thinking? This thought, that thought, frequency of thought, quality of thought, speed of thought, whose thought? Let us be aware now of awareness itself. And hold the attention from all outside thing to awareness itself. Being aware of awareness itself. In this, the duality dissolves, because there cannot be two awareness. I am just pure, choiceless awareness. Let us invoke Lord's grace and Guru Parampara's blessings. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा कृतः कस्य स्विद्धनं कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे असुर्यानामते लोकाः अन्धेन तमसा वृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः अनेजदेकं मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतोऽन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहः कः शोकः एकत्वमनुपश्यतः सपर्यगात् शुक्रमकायमव्रणम् अस्नाविरगं शुद्धमपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभू स्वयंभूः याथा तथ्यथोर्थान् व्यददात् शाश्वतेभ्यः समाभ्यः सपर्यगात् शुक्रमकायमव्रणम् अस्नाविरगं शुद्धमपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभू स्वयंभूः याथा तथ्यथोर्थान् व्यददात् शाश्वतेभ्यः समाभ्यः।
Hari Om, thank you, Vidya. Very nice. So, Isavasya Upanishad we are seeing, and we have seen first 7 mantras. First mantra for Sattvic temperament, given the path of renunciation and focusing on Isha, which pervades the entire Jagat. Second mantra, path of selfless action given for Rajasic temperament, Madhyam Adhikari. Third mantra given for Tamasic temperament, path to the lower worlds, if the first 2 paths are not followed. Fourth mantra, Isha Swarupa Lakshana are given, Lakshanas without conditioning. Because when we are studying a text, we must have one sentence essence. Anubandha Chatushtaya is very important. So, once we know the essence, then we can go into detailing. So, the fourth mantra gives Swarupa Lakshana. Self without conditioning. Fifth mantra, self with conditioning. So, Tatastha Lakshana and also Vyavartaka Lakshana means something contradictory pointers are given. Why we also saw that it is important to start with the contradictory pointers, then go to Tatastha and then go to Swarupa. Directly we cannot understand the Swarupa Lakshana. Also, not to form concept about God or Brahman or Atma or self by words, because it is beyond words. Because sometimes we get entangled into words so much and we think that we have understood. But words are only pointing, words are only indicating. As Mata Amrutanandamayi, recently when I went to meet her, somebody told her that I have gone through Brahma Sutra. So she was telling me, laughing and telling me, this time actually she was talking quite a bit. She was telling me sometimes, we write honey on the paper and eat. Sometimes those are kind of words. So indicating that we have to shift our attention from words to that. So, and a lot of Vedanta she was talking very interestingly, because another Swamiji mentioned that just I have gone through Brahma Sutra, so very interesting discussions. So that's the reason the fifth mantra is given for contradictory pointers, so that we don't get entangled into the words and then start thinking that I know a lot, because sometimes that could be derailing our progress, because our mind must slowly start leaving the words and going towards the pointer, what the words are pointing, because words can only be used as pointers. This is very important. Gurudev also used to say that I am only a pointer, not the pointed. Then the next mantra is given, is the knower of the self. The qualification of the self is now done. Qualities of the self. Now the next, definitely in the process, what will happen? What are the qualities of the knower of the self? So Sthita Prajna Lakshanas are given. In the Sthita Prajna Lakshan, the main point is that vision of oneness. So that is our sadhana. Even though I should not tell myself that, okay, I am realized, after realization, I will have vision of oneness. I must start practicing from now only. So we saw last time that we can start with a simple process in mind as a resolution. No complaints. No complaints. If I am a spiritual sadhak of, especially I have reached Upanishad, then no complaints at all. That is a big sadhana. Very big sadhana. Last time we saw that when Guruji relates it with Aham Brahmasmi, it is not a very ordinary sadhana. We may fail 100 times, but again we must remind, oh, no. In Isavasya Upanishad, this discussion we had, that somewhere in unconsciously I'm complaining about something. No complaints is a very big sadhana for a Upanishadic student to make our journey faster, because even Gurudev, we saw his favorite verse was Adveshta. So first qualification what comes of a Sthita Prajna is Adveshta. Person doesn't have any hatred towards anybody. No anger, no frustration, no irritation towards anybody. So that we must take up as a sadhana. So these verses are indicating sadhanas to us, though they are indicating Sthita Prajna Lakshan. And in the seventh verse, we saw last time that what is the result of this? We saw very important point that the shoka goes, ka shoka, ka moha, but the relationship between these two, what we saw is that the shoka goes when the moha goes. It's a very important distinction for us in Upanishad, because this kind of discussion comes in the Upanishad itself. Though the indication is coming in Bhagavad Gita, because after 18 chapters, when Bhagavan has given to Arjun, he doesn't ask Arjun, did your shoka go? He asked first of all, only one question to Arjun, did your moha go? And then Arjun says, and what joy would Krishna would be having when Arjun would have said, Nashto moha, my moha is gone. Because moha leads to shoka. And moha goes, moha is there because of ignorance of the self. And so we are studying Upanishad. So we must get that Anubandha Chatushtaya very clearly, that why I am studying this Upanishad? Because I am having ignorance of my own self. Who am I? Number one. So that ignorance of the self will go with this knowledge. So where this knowledge is located? This knowledge is located in Isavasya Upanishad. So the Sambandha is also coming. So whenever a Upanishadic student or a Vedantic student listens to any text, immediately Guruji says that this Anubandha Chatushtaya must be at the back of the mind. Ki what is the Vishay going on? What is the Prayojana? What is the Sambandha? So it becomes very clear, and then the detailing doesn't confuse us. So we last time saw some aspects of Moha. There are two aspects of Moha, but it is worth revising quickly and then going to the eighth mantra, which is the summary of entire 7 mantras. And here some of the scholars say Isavasya Upanishad is complete in the 8th mantra. But there are 10 more mantras what we are going to see. So we saw that there are two types of moha. So we'll just revise that in a systematic format, what it means. So there are two fundamental mohas. What are those? Atmani Dehatma Buddhi. That is, I am body, mind, intellect. Now we have to pay attention. The moment I consider myself as I am body, mind, intellect, something is going to happen. And the second moha is that this world is real, Jagat Satya Buddhi. Now, when these two come together, then automatically, because body, mind, intellect are extrovert, because their attention is outside, it will seek happiness. Why it will seek happiness? Because my nature is happiness inside. I'll repeat. The moment I have this moha of Atmani Dehatma Buddhi, I am body, mind, intellect. And the second moha is this world is real, Satya Buddhi. Then the third implication of these two will be my search for happiness will be in the world. There is no way the body, mind, intellect will search anywhere else. So definitely I want to be happy. And because I do not know where it is located, because of these two mohas, unknowingly, unconsciously, consciously, I will seek it outside. So what is the cause of these two mohas? Ignorance of one's own self. So what is the equation coming? Ajnana. Ajnana will lead to karta bhava. Karta bhava will lead to kama. Kama will lead to karma. Karma will lead to karma phala, and karma phala will lead to karma bandhana. So ignorance of the self will lead to a doership notion. Doership notion will lead to desire. So now we have to pay attention. Desire comes much later. Now with Upanishad, we are going to the root cause. We are not interested in removing desires because many people think, no, 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 no. I have so many desires. Then how many births I will have to take? No, no. Upanishad student says, I am not considering desires at all because that is much further. I am interested in removing that ignorance itself, and that ignorance can only be removed by knowledge. So I am studying Upanishad. So even while studying this also, so many desires are getting dissolved. We are not even aware. And we should not check all the time as one person went to Ramana Maharshi after 10 years and say, 10 years I am practicing, but I don't know. I think I am same only. He asked him, how do you know you are same? How do you know that how many Aneka Janma Samprapta desires are not dissolved? How do you know? So you keep working without thinking because we cannot figure out what is beyond intellect. Beyond intellect is vasanas. So we have no access to vasanas, but now we now know that ignorance is the cause. So I am going to the main enemy. Main enemy is ignorance. So ignorance of one's own real self leads to doership notion. Doership notion leads to desire. Desire leads to action. Action leads to fruits of action. And that's the reason Karma Yoga starts by telling us you first of all start with giving up karma phala. And then wherever there is this karma phala is coming, there will be karma bandhana. Anek janma samprapta karma bandha vidayana in akhanda mandala karam we chant. So we are bound by our own karmas only. We had discussed in Saddarshan that there is no concept of luck. It is my own karmas which are coming as my limitations in this life, which we are not aware, because that is not in our hand, because karma phala data is he. Also, when it will come, we do not know. So I am not, Upanishadic student is not thinking of this. Upanishadic student is now only thinking of ignorance of the self. So what is the result of this moha? Shoka, dukkha, sorrow. So now this is very, very important. What is a shoka? I am going to die. I am going to lose something. These are the two basic one, that I have to lose something when I am going to die. Loss. So in death, two sorrows are there. And that's the reason Arjuna also got confused. Not only death of self, but death of others also was giving him sorrow. because he was going to lose a lot of things. So he said, I don't want to fight. I want to go back and meditate. And then that leads to bhaya. Bhaya is of the other. J.K. Krishnamurti says in his book, he talks in different language. I was fascinated by this sentence when I read first time. He said, where there is other, there is fear. And then he explained what is that other. Same thing is coming in the Upanishad. Where there is no other, there is no fear. So that indirectly what he is telling is that where there is dvaita, there will be fear. Because fear goes hand in hand with desire. Where there is desire, there has to be fear. And these two travel when there is dvaita. I do not have desire to touch my own hand. I have desire to touch somebody else's hand. And why these two are mentioned? For us to practice and to know that whether I am growing with this spiritual knowledge. So with this spiritual knowledge, what happens? First of all, slowly, my fear starts going down. Physical fears, psychological fears, intellectual fears, emotional fears, spiritual fears. There are different types of fears. Slowly start going down. And with that, shoka also starts reducing. Not that I don't become sad when somebody dies or something happens. I become sad. Not that I become stone, but it doesn't impact me because I suddenly remember what Lord told Arjun in the first verse after he surrendered and told that I am your Shisha, Ashochan, Ashocha. There is no validity for Shoka, whether for dead or alive. What is the moksha? Liberation from ignorance, delusion, grief, fear. That is the definition of moksha. We must be very clear. We should not define moksha as there will not be rebirth, because people do not like that. No, there should be maja maja. If there is no rebirth only, I don't want moksha. No. Moksha means liberation from delusion, grief, fear. Delusion from sorrow and bhaya. Sorrow and fear, shoka and bhaya. And if you ask any person who has not read any scriptures that do you want freedom from sorrow and fear once for all, anyone would say yes. If the person has read any scripture or knows any scriptures or no, the person would say yes. So this is a natural desire and this is a natural liberation. It is not a created one. What is the solution? Knowledge of real self as Sat Chit Ananda, and which will create vision of oneness. So now we are actually into solution, because where the solution is found? In Isavasya Upanishad. So I am studying Isavasya Upanishad in detail, because after reading this, my shoka and my bhaya must reduce with every verse what I read. What is the reality? What is the knowledge? I am Atma and world is only an appearance. Ishavasyam vidagam sarvam. World is only an appearance. That appearance word we have discussed. It is not a creation. It is only an appearance. So we saw that Gita, it is called as Ashoka Upanishad. Why? Because in the first chapter, identity crisis led to Arjun's confusion about duty. And then I told this, that in the 18th chapter, he asked first question, very important one to Arjun, that did your moha go away? Not that your shoka went go away. Because he knew that once the moha goes, the shoka bhaya goes. So we must focus on coming out of this delusion. That must be our goal. So what is the essence till now? So we'll just summarize quickly. Very beautiful how Isavasya Upanishad is, composed. Nature of self is given, Satchitananda in the first verse. Then the nature of world is given as appearance. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagata. Then nature of knower of the self is given as oneness vision. Then the nature of result is given, that is no delusion, and the nature of transformation is given. So I must check whether I am getting transformed. And what is the nature of transformation? No sorrow, no fear. So such an inspiring thing, I don't think anyone who comes to Bhagavad Gita or Upanishadic knowledge can ever get sad or depressed for a long time. If one is still getting sad or depressed for long time, then maybe I am not converting or I'm not digesting the knowledge what is being given here. I'm just focusing only on Shravan, but not doing Manan, not doing discussion, not asking questions and digesting this knowledge continuously, because this is the result which everybody wants. In Bhaja Govindam, this is one beautiful verse comes that Vayasi gate kah kama vikara shushke nire kah kasara shide vitte kah parivara nyate tatve kah sansara. So here, when the Jnana comes, the sansar disappears. Now we had discriminated between Jagat and Sansara. That we will again see in the summary. Jagat means Jayate Gacchati iti Jagata. That which is changing, that is, Jagat is created by God. Samsara, Adi Shankaracharya always says that Sansar disappears, not Jagat disappears. Because this one question many advanced seekers ask after enlightenment, after realization, whether the world disappears. No, no, no. World doesn't disappear. Jagat doesn't disappear. Sansar disappears. Now, what is Sansara meaning in Sanskrit? That which is going on in cycles. That which goes on in cycles, in repetition, that is called a Sansara. So Sansara is my creation and Jagat is God's creation. God's creation is beautiful. The definition of God's creation is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. And my Jagat is full of sorrow and bhaya. So Vayasigate ka kama vikara means the meaning is what good is lust when youth has fled, when our body starts becoming infirm, then if I am having lot of desires, then this person will become bitter, frustrated, irritated, sad in the life because the desires are there in the mind, but slowly, slowly body cannot move. Bodies, all indriyas are becoming shithil, infirm. So that's the reason people become bitter and bitter with age, not better and better, not vruddha. Vruddha means vruddhi, not they just grow at the body level. So it is a very difficult time when the desires are there and body is infirm, because I cannot fulfill any desires with that body. What use is of lake, shushke nire ka kasara, when there is no water in it? Shine vitte ka parivara, when the wealth goes, relatives also disappear. This is no, 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 no. When Shankaracharya says, it is 100% true. Either there has to be beauty, or there has to be wealth, or there has to be fame and power. Then people come near us. The moment the person becomes not so remain so beautiful, wealth goes slowly, slowly. Even our very close relatives will not pay attention to us. And we cannot say, no, no, it is brutal truth, but it is truth. It is truth. And then last one, which is the essence of this Isavasya Upanishad, where is Sansara, the world, when the truth is known? Jnate Tatve Ka Sansara. So now what we are doing is, we are doing Jnate Tatve. We are trying to know. And when we really know the Isha, then the world will disappear. World means Sansara will disappear. So Adi Shankaracharya in his Bhashya again and again will use two words, Sannyasi and Samsari. And Gurudev describes Sansaris in a very interesting way. Sansari is a person who constantly holds on to the sari and keeps saying sorry. सारी पकड़ के सॉरी बैठे सॉरी 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 बोलते रहते. He is a sansari. And sari पकड़ के means not that only men are holding sari, the women are also holding vastra or anything, constantly feeling guilty or sorry about something. He is a sansari. What a beautiful definition of Gurudev. Because if I read Bhashya of Shankaracharya, we will have to deal with this word what he constantly uses as sansari. So now we come to the essence of Isavasya Upanishad. In the 8th mantra, I would request Vidya to again repeat once the 8th mantra read. Here 14 pointers are given, 1, 4. Sa means that. That is the first word. Sa. That means what? That is Isha, self, Atman. So definitely we must know till now the 7 mantras are talking about what? Not about food, not about this, not about that. Immediately we come to know, okay, it is about Isha. The 8th mantra is describing Sa Paryagat. So now different words are given. Paryagat, Shukram. Then we will see there are Manishihi. And we will see all these words. There are 14 pointers given to describe that. That means Isha, Sa. So with that, I would request Vidya, and we will see word by word these 14 pointers.
सपर्यगात् शुक्रमकायमव्रणम् अस्नाविरगं शुद्धमपापविद्धं कविर्मनीषी परिभू स्वयंभूः याथा तथ्यतोऽर्थान् व्यददात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः.
So this is the summary of all the mantras what we saw till now. So Sa means that. That means Isha, self, Atman, Brahman. Then we have different words. So we will take one word and see what it means. Now here what has been given, very interestingly, different aspects of Brahman are given. Means at some place Ishwar is indicated. At some place Jiva is indicated. At some place gross body is indicated. At some place subtle body is indicated. At some place, Brahman is indicated, and indirectly what has been said is that all are one. So 8th mantra actually indicates Mahavakya of Isavasya Upanishad. How? That we will see. So what are the different words? Sa, one first word that, Paryagat, Shukram, Akayam, Avranam, Asnaviram, Shuddham, Apapaviddham, Kavihi, Manishi, Paribhuhu. These are the words we will see in detail, one by one. So what is that Sa? That Atma, that Isha, what we discussed. Here realized person also can be considered as that. The knower of Brahman attains Brahman. So both indications can be considered. Either Brahman or knower of Brahman are indicated. So now what are the 14 pointers, 4 pointers given in the mantra? Pointers are attributes, lakshanas, not qualities or characteristics. Pointers. Because we know that when lakshanas are there, they cannot be the qualities because Brahman is nirguna, no qualities. So first one, very important, qualities belong to finite objects. Pointers can be many, qualities are fixed. So qualities we can only talk about finite objects. Brahman we cannot talk of qualities. But Brahman can have different pointers. Qualities are fixed. For example, sugar quality is sweet. It is fixed. If you remove the quality, we cannot call that as sugar. So suppose we say this person is bad. Now that we define that person is bad, now we cannot say that person is good because that person has both the qualities, but we say that person is bad. So we define that person with the quality. Because for me, the person is an object. So qualities are fixed. Pointers can be many. And what are the 3 types of pointers we saw? Swarupa Lakshana, Tatastha Lakshana, Vyavartaka Lakshana. So we must remember these 3 ways to define something which is unknowable, which is Atindriya Vishaya, that is Brahman. So what are these 14 pointers? Paryagat, gone everywhere, all pervasive, present everywhere like space. But where is space? Space is located in mind. Mind is illumined by Atma. So existent aspect of Brahman is mentioned here, that it is existing all. It is pervading everywhere. Saparyagat. Sat aspect pointed out here. So we can see how many different ways the Brahman is pointed in one verse. Shukram, of the nature of bright light, self-illuminator. So here Chit aspect is pointed out. Because suppose we go in a room to find out a particular object. Now, if there is no light in that room, I cannot see that object, but I know that I am. So in what light I am knowing I am? because it is self-illuminating. So very important sentence to contemplate upon in the meditation in the last part. I know that I am. So the knower of the I am is before I am. So when we focus on the knowing aspect, the I am also dissolves. The false I am. So I know I am. So the chit aspect is pointed out here, the illuminator aspect. The objects are illumined by the senses are illumined by the mind is illumined by the intellect is illumined by the I notion, and the I notion is illumined by the Atma, Rigdrishya Vivek. And when we focus on that, then the I notion dissolves. Akayam, here the subtle body indicated, without body. Mana buddhi chitta ahankara. Jiva aspect is indicated here, which goes from one body to another body. Akayam. So very importantly, I am from these aspects when I contemplate, the fear goes, because I am not the body. I am not the mind where I say I am sad, I am happy, I am angry, I am frustrated. And who cares? Because that is not belonging to me. This mind doesn't belonging to me. If it's becoming sad, angry, the Jiva Bhava is telling I am bound. Adi Shankaracharya says, na bandhana mukta. अहम निर्विकल्पो निराकार रूप विभुर्व्याप्य सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणाम सदा मे समत्वम न बुद्धि न मुक्तिर्न बंधः. So this which aspect is talking that I am not bound only. What is a liberation? I don't want to get liberated only because bondage itself has not happened. So who is bound? Atma is not bound. Body is not bound. Jiva aspect feels it is bound. Jiva aspect feels it is bound, but it is not bound. So all this contemplation must happen on each word what we are talking. Avranam, without wound. So I must not complain and crib and feel bad that okay, this is not working, that is not working in the body. No, body is not working, the hair is not, this is happening in the body, that is happening. Half the time we are discussing about body problems only. But here when the Upanishadic student comes, no wound, I cannot get wounded. So here gross body indicated, what a relief. Ramana Maharshi says, gross body is dukkhalayam. Dukkha only will come to gross body. So once I start contemplating on it, consciously so much of sorrow and fear will go away. Just by concentrating that I am not this body. All complaints gone of the body. Nisargadatta Maharaj says, just sometime in the day contemplate on this aspect. He will always say that think that you are not the body and just be. And see that becomes a meditation for you. Just think I am not the body. Body is the whole cause of all problem. Asna viram, without muscles and vein, gross body indicated again. Why? Because we are too attached to gross body. So twice indicated. No, no, there is my, what? There is a block. ब्लॉक हो गया हार्ट में, ब्लड सर्कुलेशन बराबर नहीं है. असना विरम, बट आई एम नॉट द बॉडी. शुद्धम, without stain and ignorance and vasanas. From today, those who are here in Isavasya Upanishad, 33 of us, we must not consider ourselves as bad, low, down, because I am Shuddham. I have no stain. I have not done anything wrong. No vasanas, causal body indicated. We know the story very well. When Gurudev was hospitalized, the nurse came to wipe his body in the morning. Only there is a with cloth, and he told, no, no, I don't need it. He told, no, no, Gurudev, all patient needs to be, cleaned up. No, I don't need it. She was not understanding what he was talking. And then he said, I am pure, immaculate. Maybe the nurse didn't understand, but what she heard from Gurudev directly, immaculate. I am pure. So from today, we must not feel low about ourselves and unnecessary, feel that create our soul less, self-esteem low that I am one poor bechara person living in this life. What can I do? No stain, without stain of ignorance and vasanas I am. Apapa vidham, without the sins, doership mentioned, jiva aspect mentioned again here. Kavihi, seer of all, knower of past, present, future. Ishwar aspect mentioned here, that is me only. Once I realized, that's the reason we called Ramana Maharshi as Bhagwan. We call somebody as Ishwara because they become Ishwara because they know future, past, present of all. Manishi, ruler of minds, Ishwar aspect mentioned. Paribhu, one who is above everything, cause of everything, Brahman aspect mentioned here. I'll just mention the points and next class we will spend few minutes on this. Swayambhu, one who exists by oneself, no dependence. So what this actually indicates is that we must write in the book today, I plus I want is equal to happiness. Whatever things I am dependent on something, that gives me happiness. But here what has been mentioned that I can be independent and still be happy. I don't have to be dependent on some person, object or situation to be happy. Causeless cause is aspect mentioned here. And causeless cause can only be Brahman. What does the Lord who is Nitya Mukta do? That we will take it next time because aspect mentioned here is that if you are Nitya Mukta Shuddha, then what are you doing? What is the Lord's, what is the job? What is doing whole day? What do you do? So then next answer has given what the Lord does. I think everybody is interested कि मैं इतना काम कर रहा हूँ morning to evening. What do you do? What is your job from morning to evening? Or you are just living the, Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvishesh, Nirvikalpa. What is your job for morning to evening? That has been given in the next word, not in the next mantra that we will see next time. So very beautiful. Now here, after this is complete, we have to actually come to the Mahavakya where it is indicated in this verse. So that is homework. In this verse, where is the Mahavakya indicated? Mahavakya means what? A Mahavakya is something where Jiva Brahma Aikya is indicated. Is Mahavakya. So this is Mahavakya Isavasya Upanishad. So now in which words, because in this there are many words, 14, 15, 16 words. In this word, which words indicate what and how this Mahavakya is coming? That is the homework. So with this, eighth mantra, actually the main topic of Isavasya Upanishad gets completed, but the next 10 mantras are very interesting. Different aspects and topics are taken here. So with that, we will complete. If anybody has any questions, they can ask. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.